everybody. Hey there. Hey, replay people. I heart you. I heart each of you replay people. It's good to see of you. To know that you are yet experiencing the midday moment. So hugs and kisses and hearts. I'm sending hearts to each of you, replay and live, hearts, hearts, hearts. So happy today, happy Thursday. If this is your first time joining us, welcome to the midday moment. The midday moment is the place where we expect great things. I'm your host, Dr. Davina Jones, and it is my pleasure to share with you the midday moment. And the midday moment expects great things, not because we ignore the questions of our day, not because we ignore the challenges of our day. We expect great things because we recognize that we are both fully human and fully divine. In our fully human selves, we got lots of questions, y'all. We got some stuff in our fully human selves. In our fully divine selves, we have answers. Not only do we have the answers in our divine selves, we create them. That's why we have an expectation. So the midday moment is designed to help you tap into the divine. And we are part of a larger network called Kingdom. So we've got the daily download with Dr. Doctorpulley, Tuesday and Thursday prayer, Power of Prayer and Praise with Elder Katrina Johnson-Smith, Elder Renato Casares with Illuminaries, A Night to Review on Mondays with Deacon Kenneth Butler Jr. So we invite you to scroll through the midday moment page and take a peek at the menu and enjoy. All right. If you're listening on my private page, come on over to the midday moment so you can get your own live notification. All right. It's time to sing, y'all. Come on. It's time for the midday moment. It's time for the midday moment. Oh, it's time. Yay. All right, everybody. I'm expecting. Come on now. I'm expecting great things and creating. I'm creating great things. It's time for the midday moment. Oh, it's time. Yes, very good, team. In my life, yeah, I'm expecting great things. In my home and on my job, I'm expecting great things, because greatness comes from within me. All around me, wherever I am, I'm taking with me great things. I'm expecting great things. Eyes may not see, but I choose to believe. You may not see, but I choose to believe. They may not see, but I choose to believe. Them may not see, but I still believe. I believe in great things. Yay. All right, everybody, say thank you, theme song. Thank you, theme song. Thank you. And theme song says, you welcome. All right, so that's our theme song. The OGs voted another year for Great Things by Priscilla Hilliard. I love that song, I have to admit. I've been rocking with that song for a while now. And I think I'm just conditioned to it. It does something to me, for me, within me whenever I hear it. Because truly, I do believe that everything we need is right there. All the greatness is right there. All the potential that we have to manifest is right there. And so we encourage you and we share with you so that you can pull it up and be a manifester, be your own manifester. Okay. All right, everybody. We are continuing in our journey. We're on day 30 of getting rid of the junk. And remember, as you live this life, we pick up stuff. We pick up toxins and stuff as we go about. So it's important that you take out the trash and you have a routine for taking out the trash. And so we are taking out the trash out of our thinking, trash out of our hearts, trash out of our all those components of our soul, our feelings, and so forth. So we're emptying the trash and we're taking out the junk so we can then receive the keys. We got to make room to receive the keys of the kingdom, the keys of good living, the keys of peaceful living, joyful living, okay? The keys of living an abundant life. And so we're making room to receive those keys and then having some time to talk about what it means to stay on key. All right, so each week we have a focus. We spend a week getting rid of excuses for why we can't live a good life, an abundant life. And then we talked about getting rid of the isms that also interrupt us living a good life. And this week, we're talking about some different concepts and principles that help us to stay junk free. So, this is a routine way of living. And even as we fast and look at focus things to put in our body and focus things to pause from our body, as we do that, we encourage you to make routines out of this. Okay, so I don't intend to never ever eat beef and pork and so forth, but right now we're just creating some time to pause, to give our body a time to reset, clean out and reset. Yes. So we can operate at our maximum potential physically and relationally and financially. Okay. So today's theme is the Good Samaritan. Day 30. Now, listen, this is a very, very powerful read. So, we always encourage you to read on your own time, and then we give some reflection here. So, we're reading about the Good Samaritan. There was an individual that had an issue, was robbed, left on the side of the road. Priest walked by, kept on going. Levite walked by, kept on going. Samaritan stopped and helped him. And a lot of times we read this in various ways, and you have the option to do that. Today though, we're going to title this All in the Kool-Aid. Y'all know how to finish that. Somebody finish that. You know how to finish that. All in the Kool-Aid and don't know the flavor. And so the subtitle is Focus on Your Assignment. Focus on your assignment. And sometimes we are all in the Kool-Aid and don't know the flavor. And so there's a reason why you have the priest going one way, or taking care of what's intended, the Levite and so forth. Many times we judge individuals because they didn't do this and didn't do this and didn't do that. Well, it wasn't their assignment. And sometimes, you'll do better in life if you focus on your assignment and stop trying to be in everybody's Kool-Aid and don't know the flavor. And we know in our reading here that there were laws that these particular individuals had to abide by. And so the priest was not allowed to touch dead things. The Levite had an assignment in the temple, and so it was not their assignment to do what was there available to do, but it was somebody's assignment. And so we see in the readings here that when you are busy doing what you weren't called to do, even though it seems like a good idea and a nice idea, but everything that's a nice idea ain't your idea. It's not. Okay. And so here we go. We're going to jump right in. All in the Kool-Aid and don't know the flavor. Number one. No, I have three things, and I have been sitting with, what order do I desire to go in? I'm going to start with the equipment. Number one, know your equipment. All in the Kool-Aid and don't know the flavor. Know your equipment. When you go back and read the background scripture, you will see that it just so happened that the Samaritan had with him oil, wine, and a beast, a car, transportation. He had all the equipment that was needed to assist this person. I remember Dr. Pulley teaching on that a while back. I had never paid attention to that before in this scripture. And when he taught that, I'm like, wow, we all in the Kool-Aid sometime and not paying attention to what the flavor is. The Samaritan had the flavor. The Samaritan had the equipment. So apparently that's a sign that maybe this is his assignment. The priest doesn't appear to have had those things. The Levite perhaps did not have those things. So know your equipment. If you don't have the equipment, get out the Kool-Aid. Step out of the way so that the person that has the equipment can take care of the situation. I know you like to be the shero. I know you like to be the hero, but you're not called to everything. Haven't we seen people like that? And maybe the people was me. Maybe the people was me. Always getting up, got to be into something. Always getting up, got to be on stage. Sit down. All in the Kool-Aid and don't know the flavor. Sit down so that you can focus on what your assignment is, because that's when we're going to manifest some stuff. And then you let the other person do their assignment because they have the equipment for it. If you don't have the equipment for it, that is a sign that that's not your assignment. If you don't have the equipment for that situation, that's sign number one that that is not your assignment. Get out the Kool-Aid, honey. All right. That's number one. Number two, know your role. Even when you do have equipment, it's important to know your role. This is one of the things that I love about sports, particularly football. I understand football a little bit more than the other sports. Okay. I'm challenged with basketball a little bit, who the forward is and all of this kind of stuff. Football, a little bit more, a little bit clearer for me. If you're the quarterback cannot be the wide receiver at the same time. Now, I understand sometimes you may switch roles, but what is your role for now? What is your role for now? Okay. So know your role for now and be where you're supposed to be on the field. I'm yet learning this. I had some scenarios. I'm not going to tell I'm a little business today. Okay. But I had some scenarios within an organization last year, and it became clear to me that the frustration was, Davina, you got to know your role. Yes, you all are on the same team, and yes, you all are playing at the same time. It's 11 people on the field at the same time playing football. Each team, you got 11 players on the field. Okay, so yes, we're all on the field, and we're all, aiming for this touchdown. But you got to know your role. And if you're not the wide receiver, why are you over here trying to catch the ball? Why? Okay. If you the halfback, be the halfback. You the quarterback, be the quarterback. You the tackle, or you the, whatever, be that. Tight end, be that. So you got to know your role. So number one, know your equipment. If you don't have the oil, the wine, the beast, the horse, the donkey, to take this person over here and soothe and be a part of their healing, then that sign. That is sign number one, that is not your assignment. And number two, know your role. We all on the field, but we have different roles. Stop being all over the place. Just get in your position and do your part. That's how you stay junk free. That's how you stay junk free. That's how you stay out of mess. That's how you minimize messiness. I know you might have to sit and look, and you may actually know, oh, don't throw the ball over there. Don't throw the ball over there. But it's not your job. And you all over here. So sometimes you got to let stuff be. I was talking to someone the other day. Look at my time. Okay, good. I was talking to someone the other day, and we talk about the story of Mary and Martha, how they fussed at Jesus. If you had been here, my brother wouldn't have died. But you can't have a resurrection before you have a death. You can't have a resurrection before you have a death. Before you have that moment, there's no resurrection. And sometimes you got to let stuff die so it can be resurrected. I know you're trying to solve everybody's problems at the job. I know, because you know everything. So you're trying to solve it all. And sometimes you got to let stuff die so it can be resurrected. So know your equipment. If you don't have the oil and you don't have the wine in this story and you don't have the donkey, then you can't help this. No, all you're going to do is sit there and be in the way. So know your equipment. Number two, know your role. Know your role. We all on the field at the same time, but we have different roles so that we can execute. So know your role. Number three, know your target audience. Practice studying your target audience for whatever it is God has called you to do. Know to whom he has called you. And this may be an evolving, all three of these may be evolving conversations and reflections that you have, but they're very important. Everybody is not called to everybody. I like the way Dr. Pulley says it. Everybody doesn't unlock your passion. And so it's important to know who you're called to. The priest had an assignment, the Levite had an assignment, the Samaritan had an assignment. Knowing your equipment helps you to know where to go and what to do. Knowing your assignment, knowing your role helps you to know where to go. And knowing your target audience helps you to know who to give, who to prioritize your attention to. And so I've been studying this for myself. I'm looking at the time. I've been studying this for myself. I'm not going to give you my entire breakdown, but I'll just give you the two top layers of my study right now. I have been studying how Jesus was called to the Jews. The Jews unlocked his passion because the Jews were so challenged with trying to live out what we call the law. And they just they just had such a tough time. And they finally went to him and said, what must we do? Which one of these commandments must we study and really focus on to be right, to be a good Jew? And Jesus said, y'all have missed it. It's not really about the list of the commandments. That list can be summed up right here. If you love God and love your neighbor as yourself, that is what unlocked the passion of the man we call Jesus, to help the Jews see the fulfillment of the law, love. That's tier one. The people that unlock my passion are young women. Young women, 30s, but young women that I know that I can share my jewels, my diamonds, and my pearls with. That unlocks my passion. Absolutely unlocks my passion. There are other groups that don't really unlock my passion. And so I don't need you in my Kool-Aid trying to determine my flavor and why I didn't go to this event and why I didn't go to that event, why I didn't go to that event. Doesn't unlock my passion. I always like to joke and say, I'm not called to Peter, but somebody is. You got to know your passion, know your audience. It's going to help you to stay junk free. It's going to help you to stay in your Kool-Aid and not in mine. It's going to help me to stay in my Kool-Aid and not anybody else's. The other level of Jesus's target audience, I'll say, were the disciples. He was called to the Jews, but the disciples were called to him. There are people that are called to you. And so it's important to kind of know the difference, to know the difference. And so in my life, I notice how teenagers are called to me. And I'll give you a quick example, then I'll sum up and wrap up. So when I was the senior pastor of Greater Loves You Ministries, we had a weekend where Bishop Carlton Pearson was our
powering off.
Thank you. Bishop Carlton Pearson was our guest. And my brother, who also is a spiritual leader in the community, he's a pastor and overseer, he came to visit and support that weekend. And he commented later and said, my goodness, the teenagers are running Davina's church. And I was like, huh? He said, the teenagers are running your church. And I thought about it like, wow, the teenagers were my greeters. The teenagers were my greeters. I had a teenager who was my armor bearer who met with me in the morning and assisted me throughout the service. The other teenager, my teenager daughter, was the sound tech. We had a 4-channel board, and she worked all 4 channels and played our soundtracks for praise and worship. My other teenager, preteen, actually it was preteen. Some of them were preteens. They weren't even in high school. They were preteens. Kamara did the giving affirmation on Sundays. What you see Dre doing at today's church, Tampa Bay, those of you that watch us. And so just the preteens were in all of those positions. And so it's brought clarity to me to pay attention to the people that are called to me so that I can reproduce in them and sow into them in that way, and to pay attention to who I'm called to. So why did I go through all that? Because I got to wrap up. Because if you're going to live your best life, you're going to have to know. You have to know what Kool-Aid you're supposed to be in and what Kool-Aid you're not supposed to be in. And stay out of the Kool-Aid when you don't know the flavor. Stop judging the priest and the Levite because they did what they were supposed to do and went their way. the Samaritan had the equipment to do what he did. So if you're gonna stay junk free, get out the Kool-Aid. You don't know the flavor. Number one, know your equipment. If you've got the oil and you got the wine and you have the donkey or the horse, then that is perhaps a sign that that is your assignment. Okay, so know your equipment. Number two, know your role. We're all on the field at the same time, but we have specific roles so that we can execute this plan. You can't be the quarterback and the wide receiver at the same time. It's not practical. Okay, so know your role. And number three, know your target audience. That way you can be focused in knowing who you have been ordained to pour into, who you have been ordained to give to, who you've been ordained to bring light to, and let the other people, you know, minister to those people. That's why we don't have to spend time debating who's got the best church and who's got the most young people, who's got the most this and who's got the most that, because everybody has a different target audience. So get out the Kool-Aid. You don't know the flavor. It takes all of us. It takes all of us. Come on, Ephesians. It takes all of us because we are one body. So we need all the fingers. I gotta go. I gotta go. We need the fingers, the toes, the knees, the ankles, the arms, the feet, all of that. Okay? So get out the Kool-Aid and you don't know the flavor. Know your assignment. Just know your Kool-Aid and know your flavor. And that's how we can stay junk free. Stop being messy. Okay? I love y'all. Gotta go. All right. Take care, everybody. Hugs and kisses. Gotta go. Love you. Heart you. God bless you. And God be you.